What's going on, Vault Dwellers? It's Top Ranking Noob, and I'm back at it again with another helpful video for Fallout 76. Hey, if you guys want to check out some cool Fallout 76 gear, make sure you head on over to U4GM. I'm going to be putting a link down in the description, along with a coupon code that's going to be saving you 5%. About a week ago, I posted a video about the basics of Under Armor for Fallout 76. I'm going to be continuing that series by getting into more detail with each kind of Under Armor that's available in-game to date. So today I'm going to be starting with the Enclave Under Armor. The reason why I decided to start this series off with the Enclave Under Armor is because it's actually one of the easiest Under Armors in-game to fully upgrade to the shielded protective lining. And with that shielded lining, you're going to get an extra 3 strength and an extra 2 perception. The downside is you have to have access to the bunker, which means you need to join the Enclave. That way you can go into the bunker and purchase these items, the plans and the Under Armor itself. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with how to join the Enclave, I will be showing that tutorial at the end of this video. But for those of you that already have access to it, let's talk a little bit more about the Under Armor first. So in order to get this Under Armor, you get it one out of 2 different ways. One, just by completing the Enclave mission, you're going to be rewarded with one of the Under Armors. In my case, I got rewarded with the Urban Under Armor set. You can also purchase this Under Armor at the vendor inside the bunker, and they'll randomly sell you either the Forest or the Urban. Now, these are pretty much the same thing. There's a slight cosmetic difference in the colors, but when it's upgraded, it provides you with the same exact stats. Once you have access to the bunker, the only thing you need to do in order to upgrade this Under Armor is go to the vendor in order to buy the plans. The first plan that's going to be available is the Treated Lining mod for the Under Armor. Now, the price for me is a couple of 100 caps. This price is, of course, going to vary just based off of whether or not you have the Hard Bargain perk card equipped. That one gets up to level 3. The higher the level, the more money you're going to save when buying these items from the vendor. All in all, we are going to spend almost 2,000 caps on this whole event. So if you guys are short on caps, make sure you go to the Nuka-Cola plant or the Poseidon Energy plant and grab up some of those cap stashes. I'll put a link down in my description for those videos to show you how to do those runs to get extra caps in case you need it. Another thing that's important to note is that after you purchase these plans, you actually need to go in and learn the plan. So go into your notes and actually learn the plan. Once you've learned the plan, log out, log back in, and just go right back to the vendor. If you didn't go into your Pip-Boy and learn the plan, then he's just going to sell you another plan for treated lining again. But if you did learn the plan, then you should be able to go into the vendor, go back under notes, and he should have a resistance lining available to sell you. I should say resistance lining plan, and it's going to run about 400 caps, just depending on your bargaining skills. So for every tier higher that we go, it's going to be a little more expensive. That's why I recommended that we start off with about 2,000 caps to get through this entire process. Of course, what we're going to do after we buy that, we're going to go into our Pip-Boy and actually learn the plan, log out and log back in, and go right back to the same vendor. So we're going to have to repeat this process a total of 4 times. On our third approach, we're going to find a plan for a protective lining. This one's going to run us about 600 caps, so it's getting a little expensive, but it's definitely worth the investment in the long run. And of course, on our fourth approach and final approach, we're going to go into the notes and we should find a plan for the shielded lining. This guy's going to run us closer to about 1,000 caps, so it's pretty pricey, but this is the 4th and final tier that we need. So let's make sure that we learn that. After we learned all 4 mods, we can take our Under Armor, go to an Armor workbench, and actually modify these. Now, we had to learn them in a specific order, but we don't have to craft them in a specific order. So you don't have to craft the first tier in order to craft the second tier. Whatever you have, you can skip. But if you only have the treated lining, for example, you do need Ballistic Fibers and Ultracite. Same with the resistance lining, which is the second tier. You just need a little bit more of each of those 2 materials. Protective and shielded linings do require those 2 materials as well as some pure crimson flux. So the materials to craft these are a little harder to obtain. But a fully modified urban operative Under Armor is going to provide you with 9 damage resistance, 13 energy resistance, 5 radiation resistance, and then of course it's going to provide you with an additional 3 strength and an additional 2 perception, so it's a pretty nice buff for this. Also worth noting is that if you use this with power armor, you're not going to keep the energy or damage resistance, but you will keep the strength buff as well as the perception buff. So it doesn't matter if you're using regular armor or power armor, these Under Armors are still worth modifying. Now, as far as the material to get, Ultracite is usually pretty easy to find around fissure points, or just go to the lower right-hand side of the map. If you kill the Queen or any Scorch Beast, you can actually get this from their bones. Another thing that you'll need is that Crimson Flux, which the Queen might drop. I'll make a video about how to craft that. But as far as that Ballistic Fibers, you can get these through these ammo pouches that are laying around in military-related areas. In this case, I'm walking around Camp McClintock, and I'm looking for military ammo bags. There's a few other places that you can find this, to include basically any place that has a Brotherhood of Steel presence. Now, for those of you that don't have access to the Enclave bunker just yet, I'll give you a brief description on how to get in there. You can actually do this at any time when you get out of the vault, although a fair warning is that it's going to be more difficult. It's on the more difficult side of the map. It's on the far right-hand side of the map where you want to do this at. So I do recommend that you at least get some level 15 Raider power armor if you're a lower level and trying to get this done. If you're not sure where to get that Raider power armor, I'll go ahead and put a video in the description as well, so you can watch that and learn how to get that early game power armor. So in order to get this party started, we're going to want to head to the far right-hand side of the map to a place called the Abandoned Waste Dump. It's pretty close to Harper's Ferry. This is just a cave where we're going to get the mission to start the Enclave process. It's on a corpse inside this cave. Now, there are 2 death claws inside this cave, which is why I said you should get some power armor. You don't really have to kill them, but you want to be able to survive long enough. If you go to the inside the cave on the far left side, you're going to find this corpse. It's an agent, and you're going to find this agent summary. This is going to generate the quest called Bunker Buster. From there, he's going to talk a little bit. What we need to do after we start this is we need to find a item that's going to be in one of these piles of junk right here. There's 3 different Deathclaw nests, and it can spawn randomly in any one of them. I believe it's called the Bypass Holotape. So just run around until you find, it could be the first nest you look in, it could be the last one. Bypass Holotape. Once you find that, all you need to do is head to the back of the cave, and there's going to be an elevator that goes down. In order to function, or in order to activate this elevator, you have to be close to it or inside of it and go into your Pip-Boy and actually play that Bypass Holotape. From there, there's a couple of things you can do differently. You're going to find a desk that has a note in it that basically tells you how to get past this laser grid system. Once you read the note, those 3 items that you need to interact with are going to be highlighted with the little diamond, that yellow diamond over them. So basically, open a valve, things along them lines. There's also a computer terminal that you can hack to avoid doing all of this, but it is a level 3 hack. So if you don't have level 3 hacker skills, then you just have to go grab this note and actually interact with, like a vent, a valve, and something else as well. But all you have to do is find those yellow diamonds, interact with them, and you'll be able to get past that laser grid. It's pretty straightforward. Once you get those 3 items, all you got to do is interact with this hand scanner. You'll be able to pass the laser grid up, and you'll have access to this back room. Inside this room, there's a computer along with a couple of filing cabinets that you can interact with. As you interact with these items, they're actually going to give you different 6-digit codes. There's a keypad on this wall that you want to punch those codes into. Only one of them is going to be the right code. In my case, it was the code that I got off of the computer, but I don't know if that actually varies from one player to the next. So just run around these filing cabinets, grab these items up. You'll get different 6-digit codes. Punch that code into the keyboard, and it'll tell you when you punch the right one in. Once you punch that right code in, what will happen is there will be a picture that you can look behind. That picture, behind the picture, is going to be a holotape that basically says welcome, and that's going to give you access to the Enclave bunker. From there, just travel to White Springs. At this point, you're going to be guided every step of the way. You'll be able to go down into the bunker, and you'll end up meeting a Modus, who's just a voiced robot terminal, basically. Modus is going to give you a series of events to do between a questionnaire and a couple of assignments, but they're all extremely straightforward. So from there, you can just follow his guidance, and you'll officially have access to the vendor, and you'll be able to upgrade your Under Armor. And that's it. Now you have access to the Enclave vendor. You can upgrade your Under Armor and you're 100% good to go. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, smash that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you all next time.